Good morning from the UK. I just found out I was in chipmunk mode for take one, so this is take two, talking about problems I've had with cancer in my family, with my mum, dad, and wife, and how I've tried spiritual methods to heal them, basically, to stop the inevitable death. And I just got a message, sounds okay this time. Why does it do that? I don't know. So the first time was in 1993, and my mother had an hiatus hernia. She needed a stent growing in. And now I'd just been given a healing a month before, and it's the first time that she could eat food like soup and everything. First time she could have that in 6 months, so she was really pleased with my healing. But the hospital said she needed a stent uh, to basically eat food. Now they never told us she had a tumor in there. They told me sister, but they didn't tell me. My dad didn't tell us. So my mum thought she'd have an operation, she'd be fine. Uh, Morning about 6 a.m., I got a phone call off my dad, and he said he was upset, obviously, and he'd just been told that the hospital said she's got 6 hours to live. They've cut a tumor in half, and the cancer from the tumor is now going through the bloodstream, and she hasn't got a chance to stay alive for more than 6 hours. Can you come down and say goodbye, basically? So I thought, okay, quite shocked. I wasn't expecting it. When you got someone close to you, you don't know really when they're going to die. Uh, I actually do now, but you don't know then. I was young in my spirituality. So I went to bed for an hour to trying to work a plan what I was going to do, and told my wife, and she couldn't believe, because I'm not the one who cries. I never do cry. Blocked heart chakra, just don't cry. But I was trying to work out what to do. So I got to the hospital about 10 a.m. I asked the nurse, can I sleep in the bed facing? Is it free? And she said, yeah, you can. She was thinking, well, she's going to be dead by 5 p.m. So what I started doing, I started putting Alistair Crowley, uh, these cards, the trump cards, and each one, I used to get the card, and I used to put my hand, activated, stop the collectors to collect the soul. Very wrong, but at the end of the day, I think it was wrong. She had 6 hours to say goodbye to everyone, in a lot of pain. So I activated all the trump cards, put them round the bed. I put one trump card, one crystal, activated the crystal as well. So I activated all the cards to basically create a vortex around her to stop anything collecting her. Which my sister-in-law was not. She's very Catholic. She was not very happy with me doing that. But I think some people, I've got very strong-willed spirit, and I don't. I would just go with what I think is correct. And I'm a walk-in, so I just break all the rules, so it doesn't bother me. I said to the nurses to keep the windows closed, and after a few days, my mother used to see spirits in different formats coming through the corners of the room, and I had to tell them to go away. You're not ready yet. So she used to do it. You could hear it, to tell them, go away. I'm not ready yet. So a week and a half passed, and I was given the healing every day. I was staying there overnight, and I thought she was improving actually quite a bit. I don't know what was happening with the cancer in the blood, but I was improving her. But I was in the room on my own, and she looked fine. And she was breathing a bit heavily. And next minute, she started breathing, and that was it. She didn't breathe out, and I thought, she died. she died with me on my own ear. How dare they? That's how I thought. How dare they do it while I'm in here on my own? So I put my hand to a third eye straight away. And when I put my hand to the third eye, the whole room lit. If I ever could say angelic light, if you ever see angelic light, it lights every part of the room. There's no shadow. There was no shadow. And when the light came off, I was actually in the tunnel. I was hovering above my mum, who was hovering below me, and she was being taken to the white light, the tunnel. She was being drawn up to whether it's the real heaven or the fake heaven, who knows, by three gargoyle beings. These gargoyle beings are like the beings from a church. Okay, so these beings were taking her to the white light, and I was there, and they were in utter shock when they saw me. It was like they'd seen a ghost. I literally seen a ghost, and I was the ghost. And I told them to go and F off. Yeah, and I chased them, hovering, to the tunnel. They left my mum behind, but chased. So then I got my mum, came back, and the big white flash again lit up the room. I was back where I was sitting next to her, and what she did, all of a sudden, all the air started coming out of her mouth as she sat up, with her eyes going round in circles. Yeah, so her eyes are actually going in circles, breathing, and she started breathing again. And I was in a bit of a shock because that was a wow moment for me, a very big wow moment. And I shouted for my wife to come in, and wife came in. As she opened the door, she got blasted by as much energy that took her 3 yards back. So she knew something really big had happened. And that was the end of that part. So I realise now that she must be more ill than what she looks. It must be my healing. So what I thought, I'd connect my life force, soul life force, to hers. Because what I worked out was the cancer eats your life force, just eats it away, like a Pac-Man eating your life force away. So I thought, if I send mine, connect with a cord, like a mother-son cord, connected to her life force and keep her alive, then that's fine. That's done. So everything was okay. 2 to 3 weeks, well, 2.5 weeks had gone by. And to be honest, spiritually, you might say, why did I do that? You should let him go. Well, my argument there is, no, you shouldn't let him go. Not after 6 hours. They'd be in a lot of trauma. They might not know they died. They might even not go to the light because they're in shock. But this way, she said goodbye to everyone. I was healing her for 2.5 weeks. Which would have been like a blessing for her. So I would have cleared a lot of her baggage, which was great. So at 2.5 weeks, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was dying. I literally was dying. But she looked fine as rain. She looked like she could run a marathon. And I said to my wife, I've got to cut the cord. I said, I can't keep her alive any much longer. I've got to really just cut it. So I cut the cord, and she died within an hour. Yeah, I was still drained. And a day or two later, I'm not sure if it's a day later or 2 days later, I was at me dad's. And I was sat down, and above my head was like some lights. And along the lights were like little ornaments of birds. And they started moving it wildly in circles. Really wildly, yeah. And everyone noticed in the room. And all of a sudden, I just got all my energy back. So my mum had come back and gave me the healing that I gave her. And that was so powerful. So powerful. It was very powerful. So that was an experience That's my spiritual experience with my mum. Now, with my dad was half died when my mum died, so I wasn't going to try and give him healing that much. But in '98, I was driving, and Spirit gave me a message. Tell your dad to have selenium. Selenium. I thought, that's a weird message to have. I don't even know why. I don't even know what he's got. So I phoned my sister. My sister was a staff sister at the hospital. Can you give Dad get some selenium? Give it me Dad. But he never had it. And funny enough, my sister had it for the last 20 years. she only told me a few years ago because I said it. She acted on it, and she's a staff nurse. Now, my dad died a year later with cancer as well. So that's the short one with my dad. The message there was I was given a message. I was given possibly a way to cure it. But to be honest, he was already dead sometimes when one dies, the other one dies inside anyway. So that was fine. Right, the next story is about my wife. So we had some trouble with an ex-friend of me, wife's, and we got spelled. Yeah, me we got a curse on us, definitely. And I think it was from a group. I think they were witches, if you get what I mean. And to the point that my son had seen a black shadow come out of the mirror at similar time. My daughter had seen a goblin. My oldest daughter had seen like a medicine tribal demon go from a foot to 6 foot high. All this was happening around. Now I can protect, but can I protect that many? Now, my wife had seen someone outside the house, and she was an healer, and she was looking and saying things in front of our house, which is very strange. I'd done some casting to stop curses. We knew that it was being done, and this person's animals died. It was a rebound. It was a binding. She was wishing it on, comes back. Now, the worst thing about it was we went to Barcelona. On our way back, one of the foster children we were fostering at the time had something wrong with the doctors, so my wife took her, but my wife had a little bit of pain in her shoulder. Yeah. So the doctor said, why didn't you get a blood test? And she said, well, yeah, there's nothing wrong, but yeah, why not? Better safe than sorry. Well, the test came out that she was terminally ill, stage 4, in enough every organ. So imagine that. From feeling fine, all of a sudden, she wasn't. Now, I said to her, why don't you do the spiritual way? Why don't we try and do some healing? I'll get some, you can have selenium, you can have colloidal silver, you can have ivermectin, you can have all these drugs. At the time, I didn't know about the cannabis oil. So I said, you can have all these drugs. And she said, well, what I'll do is I'll have the chemo and you can do the healing. Which, when you're doing healing with a person that's had cancer, it's so difficult because you're taking the radiation, the bad negative part of the chemo, and it's making you seriously ill. I looked really ill just doing healing. Well, she had that, and within 4 days she had a burst bowel, and the doctor said it's just a coincidence. And I thought, my arse, that's not a coincidence. Chemo gets rid of all your fast-growing cells. Your bowels, the shell part is fast-growing cells. So obviously the chemo is near enough knackered bowel. Now the doctor said she had a 1% chance of surviving the operation, why don't you come down and say goodbye? Get your kids to go to the hospital and say goodbye to your wife. And I thought, what? A few weeks ago, we were in Spain. We didn't know anything about this. So I wasn't sure what to do. And I think it was about 10:30 at night. That's it. We said she's having the operation and the kids aren't saying goodbye to her because she's not going anywhere. So at 10:30 at night, I was on the computer and I got a message from my team, my healing team, but you better go to see your wife because if you don't, tomorrow she dies. That's the message I was given. And I was thinking, wow. Whoa. So I was black hooded up. I had my wand and my good old crystal ball. That's what I went to the hospital in. The nurses absolutely panicked. They would have said yes to anything I said because I looked complete crazy. So at the time, our heartbeat was 165. Okay. It was 165. No, actually, sorry, 180. It was 180. And I was thinking, there's no way she can have an operation with 180 heartbeat. That is not happening. She'll have an heart attack. She'll have a seizure or something. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll give healing to the heart. Yeah, I won't bother with all the cancer or the bowel or anything like that. I will do healing to the main body, the heart. I'll make that 100%. And by morning, it was 104. So I got it from 180 to 104. And to me, 104 is slightly high, but that's good enough. Now, my daughter saw me that morning. She said I looked like I was in my 90s. I'd aged so much. I threw the kitchen sink to keep her alive, basically. And she had the operation, and it was successful. It was good. And that's when I said, do you want to carry on with the chemo? And she wanted to carry on with the chemo. There's choice. It's not my body at the end of the day. I wouldn't have it, but it's everyone's choice. Well, how we do the path. Now, I thought, right, I'm going to do the healing. I'll withdraw the chemo negative part, ground that somehow. And what I'll do is, how do I get rid of cancer? Now, 2 of the cancers are 8 centimeters in diameter, so they were like nearly tennis balls. Yeah, that's quite big. Well, the liver was a bad one, but they were mainly all organs. So I thought, what you do to reduce cancer, this is my little spiritual trick. You put a bag over it, an energy vortex. You create the energy vortex around it. So if this is the cancer, it'd be a big one. You create a vortex going all the way around it. Yeah. In fact, just 1 second, see if I can. Oh, a minute. There you go. So this is the cancer. So you create an energy field all the way around it. It's your energy. It's holding it all. Yeah. Now, this is to stop the fluids of the person's body feeding it, and also the energy field feeding it. So once it's trapped in this, it can't grow, but it can't live. It will die. Yeah. So I did this to most of the big ones. I couldn't get all of them, but I channeled into the big ones and I started circling. Now, the hospital, Christie's, said that chemo will never destroy it. It can't destroy it. It can't reduce it. It stops it growing, so she lives longer. Now, a few months later, they said, we can't believe this. The actual chemo's reducing it. And I thought, yeah, Of course it is. That's what you said it can't do, but it can. And it got down from 8 centimeters to 5 centimeters. So it reduced quite an heavily lot. So my job, I was working really well on it. And everything seemed really fine. It seemed like I was actually going to cure her. It really did look like I was going to do it. All the cancer, the only thing is, I think she had a kidney problem because she had started water retention. But what I didn't realise, like we'd gone away to Portugal, a bit illegal because I didn't enjoy it because she was that ill 3 weeks before she died. Now, she'd actually had cancer in the brain as well. I didn't know that one. That one was but these are like demon seeds in my book, and they can find a way, and they found the one in the brain, and I completely missed that. And it was quite sad actually. But what she wanted to do with the family, she wanted us to go to Devon. So what we did, booked to Devon. We went to Devon, yeah, and it was quite overwhelming actually. And near the end of the holiday, she started being really ill, as though something was wrong with the brain. She started not being right, how she looks, how she acts. And I was panicking, thinking something's really wrong here. Now I had to go back home with the family. I waited to stay in hospital for a day or two, and then I'd go back. And I told everyone, let's do that. But I got the phone call the next day to say, Mr. Barrow, you've got to come here. She hasn't got long left. So we all travelled back to the hospital. The hospital let us stay for a few days, actually, in one of the wards. The cancer ward wasn't being used at that time. It's 2014, but they weren't using that part of the ward. So they let us stay there the night and everything, and have pizza. It was good how we did that, actually. And near the end, Spirit came to me. The collecting team came to me. My healing team was there, but they came to me and said, look, we need to take her. Can you let us know when we can take her? And I said, okay. So I said to everyone, look, I think we should leave me mum in a little peace. I think they knew what I was saying. And I went to sleep. And when I woke up, she died. And the thing with me mum and my wife, I felt like I'm one of the most powerful healers I know. I'm not, that's not ego. I just know that. But I couldn't save them. And it was upsetting that me mum and wife died. And I was quite angry that I've got this gift and I couldn't heal them, if you get what I mean. And I was wondering, since then I've been wondering, how could I have saved her? Now, if it was someone else close to me, and what I've been told is what I should have done, that bag of energy, yeah, that bag of energy to stop the fluids, you leave an hole at the top and you're sending 22D energy into it, and the white light will just blast it. But that's what I know now. So I know a lot more things now. Now, obviously, most of you in here don't know, can't hold 22D. So you could hold, say, 22nd chakra, platinum ray, any high vibrational energy, send it in, burn it out, kill it. Yeah. Now, the other thing is, what I do, I have borax to make me pH value better. Yeah. You know, something I have quite frequently. I don't have it in the 2 liters like most have it, but I'd recommend it. Yeah, and the other things I've heard of, ivermectin might be okay. I'm telling anyone who's got cancer, research it. If you want any healing off me, Deb and Rick, by all means contact us. Yeah. But have a look at all the avenues instead of just having the chemo one. But I'm not a doctor, so you do the research. It's your body. But I would have borax. I'd consider sugar apple, dandelion root, fendamental, colloidal silver, selenium, ivermectin, all them things, even cannabis oil. Remember, you've only got one life, and sometimes don't rely on one way. It's been very difficult. The thing is, I think my wife had a contract to die because then it would make my spiritual journey more powerful. This is why I'm here. So I have a feeling it's to do. It's not just a spell. It's also to release me to heal the world, heal Earth, heal everyone else. So I do think that. And let's see. She died in 2014. By 2018, 19, I was going down. I was going really down. I was going so down. You couldn't see me. And luckily, Sophie got me out of that. So she's watching. Thank you. You're the one why I'm still here. So remember, everything is always possible in spiritual healing. If you ever want to do healing, try these things anyway. And also, the good thing, the thing that's worth noting is detox yourself all the time. Don't find out you've got cancer later. Why not detox it before you get it? And then you might not get it in the first place. It makes sense. And that's why me, Deb, we have borax regular every day to alkaline our body. But I would research that on YouTube. There's loads of YouTube channels. But I would also study like dandelion root, sugar apple, fenmenzel, colloidal silver. I'd research it. Right? So I'm not advising you to have it. I'm advising you to research it. So for all you who's been watching for 30 minutes, I will send you all some energy. And I'll try and send you from the 22 dimension. By the way, it's 10 to 2 here at the moment. So, yeah, right. Just what I would do is just relax. Breathe in. So you breathe into your heart chakra. And then breathe out slowly. So breathe in and breathe out slowly. Close your eyes and I'll give you 5 minutes of spiritual 22. I'll try and get that eye. I've only just started going that eye. And if you got any problems, just direct it to, just say in your mind where you want it going. Right, thank you for that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Unscripted. I just like to tell my story sometimes. Until next time, thank you very much and good night.